Wednesday, November 4th, 2015, 6:30. East Cleveland City Hall, City Chambers, Courtroom. Our normal place of business, which is the council meeting, is usually on the first and third Tuesday of every month. But since we did not, since we had election on Tuesday, it falls on Wednesday. That's why it is Wednesday. Moving right along. Remarks of the public on agenda items only, please. Oh, I'm sorry, roll call. I was doing everything else.
Roll call. Council King.
Present.
Council Martin.
Present.
Council Baker. Council Wheeler. Absent. Council Thomas.
Present. Now, if I'm correct, remarks of the public on agenda items only. Let the record reflect that our prosecutor and a law director, Ms. Hemmings, has entered the room. I think we should sit down. Are you the designee for the mayor tonight?
So far.
Okay. I'm still asking for remarks of the public on agenda items only. That's the second call. Remarks of the public on agenda items only. If hearing none, we'll move to reports and announcement from the mayor or his designee. Excuse me, I'm about to sneeze. Didn't come out.
You can't stop it. That stops your heart.
Yeah, I hope you don't. Let the record reflect that the Vice President, Councilor Thomas Wheeler, has entered the room and is going to take his seat. Are you ready to give remarks of the mayor, Madam Law Director?
At this point, we have no
Reports on council committees. Councilor King, committee, information, investigation.
Thank you, Council President. Okay, so,
Pardon?
well, my committee not had an official meeting. I would like to go over some of the things that we're looking at or working on in our committee.
Would you please tell the people what your committee is?
My committee is General Services.
Okay.
So, one of the things we talked about in our last discussion, we had a joint discussion, my committee and Councilman Wheeler's committee, looking at controlling the flow of traffic between Euclid and Superior and Euclid and Eddy Road. If any of you have traveled through there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, the left turns coming out of the establishments cause a serious congestion in that area to the point where tender vendors, bless you, are usually had in that area. So we're looking at legislation or signs to kind of control the traffic so there's no left turns coming out of McDonald's, the Nemo's, Taco Bell's there. Okay. We also talked about getting barricades and signs on some of these streets that have a lot of abandoned houses, such as Howard down on this end, and getting them so that they're just no through traffic signs. So the law director was working on looking into that and getting back to us. So we'll be having another meeting soon to kind of see where that's at. Yeah. Okay, so I wanted to briefly touch on the sinkhole that is right across from my office. It was stated last week, and
By the president.
well, what happened with that sinkhole? I've been watching that sinkhole for well over a year. So one Saturday, I came in, and it had fallen over 1.5 feet. Now that Sunday, the next day, it had sunk to maybe about 4 feet deep. I mean, it had just fell through. So, so what I did Monday was I called the sewer district, called Cleveland Water, right? And I wind up calling Mr. Marshall and also Milton, Community Development and the Service Department to kind of let them know what was going on.
This past Monday.
No, when it happened, right? So, for those of you who have been down there, and I know Ms. Gowdy mentioned it, that is my blue barrel that is sitting there. I put it in there.
Is that the?
Yeah, I put it in there when it happened. I'm the one that got the shanks in the street put down there, right? So I knew about it. Although I'm not like apologizing for not calling you, and maybe I should have called you, but I called Service Department. I called mail ring to get it taken care of. So, I should have let you know that I had taken care of it, but it was already taken care of. Furthermore, in order to get that fixed and to get a number of other sinkholes fixed and some patchwork throughout the city, Melran and I went down to HUD to discuss Special Purpose Grant 33 again. So we have cost estimates, including Roslyn, and we wrote a request, which is being forwarded, to try to get that grant money repurposed.
That's a wonderful thing.
Now, in case it can't be repurposed, and I know there was questions, hey, how can I apply to get use of Special Purpose Grant 30, which is for women, single-parent moms with children. If you have any questions, or if you want to propose a grant, you can call the council's office and leave a message for myself or Councilman Wheeler, because we both met with HUD to try to go over this and get it off our books. We will sit down and work with you to come up with that program proposal so that it can be submitted.
Thank you. Is that
Thank
the extent of the?
Finally, I'd like to bring some pretty good news. I'm hoping everyone will like this. I'm glad the mayor came in because he'll appreciate this. He's actually up to speed on it. Helen S. Brown, as you know, council, we worked diligently to get that place leased, get someone in it.
We have.
And, because an unoccupied building over the winter is very hard on the building. So, we have someone in there under the lease, and I have here some pictures. New Hope Fellowship Church. I was there over the weekend. He had a food feeding program. So I got just a couple pictures if anybody wants to see them. Just cars in the lot, feeding. You repainted the facility purple. It's Mr. Pruitt. And then he's having something November 19th, kind of a join the movement, asking residents to come out and talk about creating healthier neighborhoods. So I just wanted to share that with you, and that concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilman King. I appreciate the fact that you told us about the sinkhole, but I'm also kind of disappointed that the sinkhole had to be brought to the president's attention, and what you were doing did not resonate over to the precinct committee person. Pardon me, I'm sorry. Who lives on Roslyn, and brought it to the full council's attention. And just for edification, sharing is what this council does, and working as a team is what this council does. So, and when I got involved, I had talked to Mr. Marshall, and Marshall said they were treating our city like a second-hand citizen. When he had called several times down there and talked to the people about this whole. I talked to Mr. Parker, who owns the art gallery, and he said no one had come and talked to him about it. So we all got involved, and it's a good thing. They're working on the sinkhole. I'm glad that you are trying to deal with the other part, and I will be talking to Mr. Leach because that money is designated to project for single women, and proposals have not been given out. So we will be looking forward to dealing with this. And New Hope, I've talked to the pastor at New Hope. I've asked about it the other day, and everything is going well. I have to give this council kudos for with the legislation, passing that legislation. Not just one council does anything. It takes 5 to move legislation, and it takes 3 to do what we have to do. So I'm very proud that you brought all this to our attention so that we can get on what needs to be done. So moving right on to the next report from Councilman Latanya Martin. What you got for us on your committee?
Yes, good evening, personnel and appointments. I just got a document today. I think it came down, when Ms. Parker did this come? This afternoon. We've been asking for this document for over a month, so I haven't had time to peruse it.
Okay.
And we requested were the salaries of the employees. So we'll take a look at it.
Okay.
And while I'm making a report, I do need to say too, because it's related, I'm looking at legislation 5315, public employee retirement thing. And I'm not opposed to it, but we haven't had a chance to sit down and discuss it. So I'm going to place it in, recommend it to be placed in committee. Okay. So, right now, we're facing a lot of challenges in terms of, you heard Councilman King talk about the sinkhole right next to his business. And if you ride down Euclid, if you ride on the right going east, you almost have to get in the main lane near the middle because you get your car towed up. So we're not making the basic repairs on our main street, which is Euclid Avenue. So I'm hoping while the goodwill is taking place that we can get help to do that. And I put that in perspective from the standpoint of we're a few months away from winter, not soon. And with the ice and the snow and all like that, those holes were going to get worse. So we need to do something now. So I hope that something's being done. I know at the last council meeting, somebody asked about salt. We never really got a definitive answer about the salt. So the only thing I can assume is that the salt, we will have enough salt to get through the winter. But we definitely need to fill in the holes on Euclid Avenue. So I will have a meeting probably with next week, so we can, on personal appointments, to deal with this and to deal with the old PRES, which you have a lot of history with, to make sure that we do it right. I'm very meticulous about rushing into things and not having time to talk about it and everybody get their input in. So I don't think this is something that we got to do right now. So, Madam Chairman, that concludes the report of the personnel appointment committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman.
And congratulations on getting reelected, by the way.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
I'm sure that the things that you touched on, that repairs and the salt that comes from the mayor's remarks, which he wasn't here, but we will visit him again and find out, get answers for you, okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is Councilman Baker.
Thank you. I'll have a meeting scheduled within the next 2 weeks to pull everything out of committee.
What is your committee?
I'm sorry, not health and safety, contracts and properties.
Okay.
Thank you.
So you have a number of pieces of legislation in your committee, and you are saying when you have that meeting, you will be taking, asking that we bring everything out and deal with it at that particular time?
Correct.
Thank you. Next is Councilman Vice President Thomas Field.
Good evening, everyone. I am the chairman of the Health and Safety Committee. We have not had a meeting. We'll be having one soon. But I can say that a couple days ago was a great day in East Cleveland as far as safety and services are concerned. If you are not aware, which I don't know, you cannot be aware, we broke ground over on Hayden and Dome for the new Salvation Army facility. That's $10 million. It's 35,000 square feet to service our community. It's welcome. Unfortunately, some council wasn't able to attend. It was a great ceremony. A lot of representatives were from EV Corporation and other companies that were interested in East Cleveland and what they could do to help. So that was exciting. Also, I've been in conversation with some of the administration in regards to trying to work on some plans about working on the traffic light issues. So that is a concern, and we are addressing those issues as well. And that concludes my report for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Vice President. I am the...
And I'm sorry, congratulations.
Thank you very much. I lost my train of thought when he said congratulations. There's a lot of issues that we have to deal with, and dealing with them tonight is not a place to deal with them. Basically, what the committees are for is to bring your projects or your issues into your committees, dissect them, make sure that everything is in place and that you got all the documentation that you need to present it to the full board at this juncture. I am over the Finance Committee. Finance Committee will be meeting probably before the month is out. But tomorrow we will be going over to the commission meeting at 1 o'clock at the library. Also, we have the financial plan that we approved that had to be in by the 30th. I also want to congratulate this council who did a fantastic job on dissecting the financial plan, and I had met prior to the council dissecting the financial plan and took some things out that needed to be out because I figured it would keep the plan from passing. We took the financial plan, the last meeting that we had, and it was supposed to have been in 120 days, but it wasn't in within 120 days. But Ms. Hammerhand, who is the chair of the commission, stated that she gave us more time, and we had to have it in by the 30th of October. Okay, we broke our necks to get it in by the 30th. We hope that it passes tomorrow. We worked diligently. We had the finance director here. We asked him questions. We did dissect the financial plan. We looked at the forecast. The forecast seemed good to us. We took out things that were not relevant to bringing in revenue. So hopefully tomorrow when the commission meets, we will be able to say, yay, we passed. If not, I'm assuming, and I don't like to assume, that we have to go back to the drawing board. At this particular time, I want to also make it very plain that we are not, at this time, going forward with any annexation to Cleveland. Contrary to what is swirling around out there in the community. We are not going through with annexation. That right now is being, the petitions that were turned in is being examined, looked over, dissected, and I like that word, by the prosecutor and the sheriff's department. And they are looking, there might be some irregularities that might lead to some criminal investigation. But at this particular time, we are not going forward. We have done all we could, and we put in legislation, and that is that. We're not going to even discuss it because that is what we did. You are right, Councilor Vice President. The Salvation Army is one of our magnificent projects that is sorely needed. Needed is for the seniors, is for the young adults, is for the children, and it's not going to bring revenue, but it is going to bring something that we sorely need, a place that everybody can gather in and be part of. Okay? When it first came about, Belinda, the mayor's assistant, brought them to me and talked to me about this, the Salvation Army project, and I thought it was great. And we'll see once the project is completed what is going on in the community and with our residents as a whole. Okay? That is the completion of my report. Moving right along.
What report was it? What committee?
Pardon?
What committee was that?
I said it was I am the chair of the Finance Committee. Okay. Thank you. Moving right along, I would like to return to the mayor and his remarks. Your designee said she didn't have any remarks, but my counsel, Nathaniel Martin, we're talking about the salt and the patching of the holes and so forth and so on. And I'm thinking, looking for some answers.
It's nice that you have the word. I hope you find it. I'd like to begin by saying congratulations to the people who won election yesterday. Councilwoman Thomas, with a whopping 377 votes, was reelected. Congratulations. Joy Graham, who will join City Council to replace the outgoing councilman. She got 565 votes. So Council President, congratulations on your 377 votes, and congratulations to Joy Graham on her 565 votes. Congratulations to Mary Rice, who won elected to the school board with 1,408 votes, and to Dr. Patricia Blahoviak, who won with 1,153 votes. Again, congratulations on those few hundred votes. The Salvation Army was a wonderful thing. Thank you to the members who were there. Thank you to council as a body. Certainly putting that project through its paces and moving quickly. We had the groundbreaking a couple of days ago, but just yesterday it looked like they've been working for a month already.
Yes.
Certainly appreciate that. There will be salt this winter, and we are addressing those infrastructure concerns. Just want to remind council, there is not an unwillingness to address these infrastructure issues. There is an inability financially to address these infrastructure issues. As you know, the financial plan that was approved by the council projects that. We are now beginning to see that there is just a severe lack of revenue, not an overabundance of spending, but a lack of revenue, and it's projected to decline. So those things the lack of revenue will continue to impinge upon the city's ability to fix those obvious things that should be fixed. For the past year and a half, I've been saying to council that there will begin to be sinkholes that open up in the city of East Cleveland, not just potholes, but sinkholes. And we're going to find it increasingly difficult to address those items as they come up. This council has to take serious consideration of all the options on the table, including the one that no one wants to embrace. We have to at least discuss it. In the words of one particularly boisterous councilman a couple of years ago, we must at least discuss it. The famous words from 2013, we must at least discuss it. So I won't name who said that, but that's a direct quote. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Appreciate those remarks and taking a little weight off Nathaniel Martin. Giving him a little humor. Always is a good thing. Moving to new business, is there any new business, Madam Clerk?
Point of order.
What did I do? Pardon? Yes, I went back to deal with the mayor. He had arrived. But in my, did
I think we're in legislation.
we did new business, okay?
Yes.
Thank you for bringing that to my attention. That's why we act as a whole. Legislation, Madam Clerk.
Resolution number 51-15, a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract with the District Advisory Council of the Cuyahoga County General Health District for public health services for the city of East Cleveland, Ohio for the year of 2016 in the amount of $69,945 or $3.92 per capita, to be paid in equal semi-annual installments of $34,972.50 and declaring an emergency. Requested by Mayor Gary A. Norton and sponsored by Council Thomas J. Wheeler.
Vice President Wheeler, resolution number 5115 bears your name. What is your,
Move for adoption.
is there a second?
Second.
Is there discussion? I was gonna ask the law director, is there anything that we need to put in the discussion?
Well, I think that the finance director gave a very insightful presentation, and he indicated that the advisory council of Cuyahoga County on health does a good job in terms of inspecting restaurants, making sure that the city's sanitation meets some minimal standards when it comes to even kiosks or food service preparation, and making sure that the shots are available to young children that are required, and those sorts of things. It's not a health plan per se, but it's just a general imposition of a quality of life standard.
Thank you, Madam Law Director. As you can see, we have people that were not here when the presentation was given, and so that makes it very plain. Are we ready to call for the roll, or is there more discussion? Let's call for the vote.
Councilman King,
Yay.
Councilman Martin,
Yay.
Councilman Baker,
Yay.
Councilor Wheeler,
Yeah.
Councilman Thomas.
Yeah. Madam Clerk, would you read the next legislation, which is an ordinance?
Ordinance number 52-15, An ordinance to amend Chapter 191.0101 at sequence of the codified ordinances of the City of East Cleveland, Ohio regarding municipal income tax changes pursuant to HB 5, enacted by the Ohio General Assembly in December 2014, requested by the Finance Director Johnson and sponsored by Council President Barbara J. Thomas.
Councilwoman Thomas, this is sponsored by you, Mr. Pleasure.
Mr. Vice President, I will sponsor ordinance number 52-15 and move for its adoption.
Move second.
Second.
Move seconded. Discussion. Close discussion. Call the roll, please.
Council King,
Yay.
Council Martin,
Yay.
Council Baker,
Yay.
Council Wheeler,
Yay.
Council Thomas.
Yay. The next ordinance, please.
Ordinance number 53-15, resolution that the City of East Cleveland, Ohio will pick up the statutorily required employee contributions to the Ohio Public Employees Retirement System for the Service Department employees of the City of East Cleveland, Ohio, pursuant to Internal Revenue Code Section 414H2, requested by Finance Director Johnson and sponsored by Council Nathaniel Martin.
Madam President, I would request that this be placed in committee pending the meeting. I think we'll be next Tuesday or Thursday to discuss this and the other item I mentioned earlier.
Okay.
Is there a second for this to be placed in the committee?
I'll support that.
You want to call the roll on this, that it be placed in the committee? I'm sorry, discussion.
Yeah, okay, you have
Okay.
discussion before?
Yes.
Okay, so that I'm clear on this, can you talk about this a little bit?
Yeah, that's my point. We haven't had a meeting about it at all. And I don't want to be speculating. So I'm not, yes.
Can we ask the mayor?
No, no, right now, we do it in committee, it's done in committee, not in the council meeting. And that's the proper way it's supposed to be done. Okay, all right.
It's not an emergency.
No, it's not an emergency, but it's important. And you know, I need to say that all government is about process and procedure. Okay,
We did that.
right,
We did
okay.
that. We're
You
gonna
know, I'm
put-
very strong about that.
We're placing it in
Committee, thank you.
Madam Clerk, will you make a note that and place it in committee? When is your committee meeting, Mr.?
I'm gonna talk with the clerk, I'm shooting for Tuesday or Thursday. Is that a good day for, that's like, Tuesday, which one, Tuesday or Thursday?
Anyone else?
Let's go for, next Thursday at 5 o'clock. What, 5:30? 5:30.
Are you sure? Is it tentatively or you gonna?
No, I'm, anytime after 5, I'm all right with it.
Okay, you want to.
5:30, we have a 5:30 next Thursday, is that okay?
That's fine.
Okay. Let's state for the record, the personnel appointment committee will take place next Thursday, I don't know the date right offhand, at 5:30, right here. All right, Madam President?
I'm with you.
Thank you. All right.
Moving right along, we have remarks and requests of the public. Remarks and requests of the public. What is the time for that? 3 minutes each.
Hi, Dr. Patricia Bohovi, I go to Newport Farmington. A number of things I want to get through kind of quickly. One is our November meeting
So wait a
instead
minute,
of...
hold on. You said, what is it, 2 minutes? I'm sorry, okay. Move right
Well, I hope it's starting over now.
I'm saying 1, 2, 3, go.
Our meeting, our school board meeting in November is generally, and is this month, the third Monday instead of the second, because a number of people generally want to go to the Ohio School Board Association Capital Conference. So we'll have a hearing at 6:45 about some people who want to retire and be rehired, but the standard meeting starts at 7. We had an interesting presentation at the City Club on the power of second language learning with Christine Schultz of the Concordia Language Villages, and that should be.
It was good.
It's available now online, good, at cityclub.org. Talking about street repairs, if you just turn left out of the parking lot and go up the hill, lots of comments during and after the election about the condition of the street going up to Heritage Middle School. We continue to have violin lessons, free violin lessons at Candlewood Nursing Home after school on Thursdays, 3:30 to 5. If you can't get there on time, that's fine, any age. Little ones should come with a parent. The other issue is that the garden on Mayfair, which has been neglected this year because I had a hard time finding out when it was going to be moved or whether it was going to be moved or how much. But at any rate, the sewer district is taking over that space. I have black raspberry bushes that people could probably have for the digging if they wanted a few, but we need help in moving the small trees, some of the bushes,
Where is this?
some
I'm
of the
sorry.
plants. It's across from Mayfair Elementary School on Mayfair. And so I'm soliciting new homes for some black raspberry bushes and moving aid and assistance for a number of plants. Contact me 229-9125. Thank you.
Calvin Irby, 14802 Elm Avenue.
Congratulations to you.
Okay, real quick, real easy. We all want to talk about traffic lights and signals. You don't have an electrical department to put our traffic lights and signals back to the purpose. If you leave here, Euclid Avenue, you have Marlowe's, you have Beersford, and you have Down, all out of sync. Try driving down there, I got a ticket for going through a red light when Beersford is not even in sync to keep the flow of traffic going the way it's supposed to be. Also, you want to talk about the sinkholes. Y'all knew about this a long time ago. It ain't over. Correct the problems. As for sitting up here on council, every joke I was told is not funny, so nothing should be laughed at. Ever. Y'all said to us, we voted y'all in here. We gave y'all every opportunity to be voted in to do what we asked you to do, if not be better than what we're getting. Mr. Mayor, you're community development. Find something to develop here. We have restaurants that we no longer want to be in. We deserve Chipotle's, we deserve Wick and Lizard, we deserve something. Corruption in the office, we know it's here. I'm pretty sure if you don't have the budget for what the city is allowed to spend, somebody need to be sitting behind bars, because somewhere along the line, it's missing. The money is missing. Somebody do actually, and y'all even said it, put me in jail. Put me in jail. King, you said crabs in a bucket. I've seen a lot of buckets. I've seen a lot of buckets that ain't full, but it's getting to the top. I guess I'm done.
Thank you, Mr. Irby.
Good evening, John Holmes, 15808 Terrace Road. You know, I've heard a lot of things, whatever. I'm very happy to see the mayor working tonight. He was working yesterday, and he wasn't getting paid. Well, he was getting paid anyway, too. But he was out there, and he's in here taking care of business like he's supposed to. That's very unusual. Now, here's one thing that I would like to know from all you council and the mayor. Why is it the people, the public of East Cleveland pays your salary, pay all these people's salary, why they can't? They get the information of who getting paid and what. Now, Congratulations to you for winning. But you supposed to be over the finances. I assume that you know. Well, yeah, what can I say? I don't know. You should know about the financial situation.
Yes,
You should know.
yes.
I'm not